Georgia State! Sitting here again talking about the same things.
It's finally over! It's finally over! We did it! We actually did We did it! We went through and we did it! Oh my goodness. You know what? I don't care. I don't care. I know what everybody's gonna say. Yes, it's still happening. The protest will happen. I'll give you the details later on. But, Red, it was all worth it because guess what happened? Guess what happened? Ding dong.
You got a kiss?
The witch is dead. Ding dong. The wicked witch is dead. Tim Banks is no longer employed at the University of Tennessee. Woo! Drink to that, baby.
I need a drink but for a very different reason, Squid.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Well, as you know, this is the FBS Report after all. Speaking of which, everybody, welcome to the FBS Report. And just like a certain team who beats up on service academies 10 times a year, doesn't beat any quality opponents, and then wonders why they're not in the playoffs, it's full of one thing and one thing only: FBS. And Red, tell us what FBS stands for. Why don't you?
It stands for the entire offensive play calling of the Ohio State Buckeyes this past Saturday night. Fucking bullshit!
Whole lot of bullshit to go through tonight. My goodness. First off, 98 Doom, appreciate the 2, says Notre Dame coping and seething. So, like I said, guys, we've got so much to get through tonight. We're going to talk about the playoffs. We're going to talk about the conference championships, all the bowl games coming up. So much to get through. I don't even know if we're going to get through it in 90 minutes, but we're going to try as fast as we possibly can. And then, of course, we're going to have our therapy session for Mr. Red, as it was bound to happen eventually, man. Listen, I had to suffer times aplenty on this show. Your time was overdue, buddy. But hey, at least
wasn't actually, but you know, hey.
Well, at least it wasn't the week before, right? Because that's usually when it is.
Yeah, I guess we did beat Michigan, so I don't feel as depressed as I otherwise think would be. But it still kind of hurts losing to Indiana for the first time in your entire lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
Because literally the last time Indiana beat Ohio State, I wasn't even born.
Yeah,
I'm 30.
That's a bit of an ouchies.
Yeah. So I've gone my whole life without feeling the sting of the Hoosiers beating the Buckeyes. And I never thought I would ever feel that sting. And boy, does it sting. It really fucking stings. Is this what it's like when Florida beats Tennessee, Squid?
No, because if that were the case, Indiana would be beating y'all's ass every year. But that's
true.
You know,
that's very true.
That's
true.
I don't know. Okay, we'll get into it in just a minute. Anyway, Schizoid Man, appreciate the 5, says the playoff selection is a travesty. Alabama not punished for being held at -3 rushing yards because I want to let you know they played in a game that Notre Dame has never won. In other words, a conference championship. But yeah,
very true.
I'm sure that'll lead to SEC bias talks. But
Boy, do I have so much I do want to say about God's golden shit stains, the polished turds of college football. I got a lot that I'm going to lay into, but I know we got people, going full ATM over here, so we're going to get through them.
yeah, don't worry, we'll touch on it. Golem 222, thank you for the 10, says at this point Notre Dame deserves to go 0-12 for acting like a spoiled, petulant child that didn't get its way, but I suppose it was worth it for Miami. The fuck am I even saying anymore? Well, I'll tell you this much. If it goes down the path of Florida State, then they will have a terrible year, as told by Karma, but we'll find out in due time. Low Bats member for 2 months, greatly appreciated, says got your Christmas gift early. by Banks. Yes, Third and Banks is no longer employed. Great news for anything involving the University of Tennessee. Thank you, by the way, to the basketball program. If it weren't for the basketball program shitting all over its own face, I doubt that move would have been made, because Danny Dimes, I'm sure, felt the pressure on him with all the other sports teams sucking it up. Wild Dog 333, appreciate the 5, says, can't watch the show tonight, fellas, but love your guys' stuff. Red, have a drink on me.
I surely will. Thank you.
Sino Flads, appreciate the 2, says, play like a champ, but quit when the CFP tells you no. Oh, yeah, that's the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it goes if you're Notre Dame. You're too good. Think you're too good for the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Good Lord. We got nearly 170 people in here wanting to see us cope, mold, and seethe, or at least my ass to cope, mold, and seethe, and to shit on everybody. Thank you for joining us. Wow, a lot of people here tonight.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Y'all are all wonderful people. Thank you. Thank you. Josh E. Lander, 2024 champs at the 2. Thank you very much, says, UT may hire Washington's DC, Ryan Walters. Well, I know a little bit about Ryan Walters. I made a whole video about his tenure at Purdue. But I do know for a fact that he has had good runs as a defensive coordinator. Same thing with Kenny Burns over with Kent State. He had a terrible, terrible time as the head coach of Kent State. But when he was an offensive coordinator at Minnesota, everybody wanted him. So, you know, it's like one of those things. So if we were to get that guy, I wouldn't be the least bit mad. Besides, even Washington fans like him, and that's got to count for something. He's the only reason they're 8-4 right now. Yeah. Yeah. I guess before anything else, we'll go ahead and slide into the last week's conference championship games, talk about those real fast. And then,
rip the Band-Aid off.
JFKH, appreciate the 5, says, I want to make it clear, we aren't mad. We got left out. Miami earned that. It was the way they were in the CFP poll. Yeah, I will agree with you on that. That's one thing I will say before we continue onward is that the fact that the fact the committee did what they did, basically pulled the bait and switch at the very last minute, kept Miami ahead, and then just out of nowhere put Notre Dame ahead at the very end. But I had a feeling that was going to happen because the buffer there was BYU. They were the ones keeping those two teams separate. But when BYU lost, now they're together. It's impossible to ignore at that point. It didn't surprise me that they suddenly pulled that move.
I think it's bullshit that the committee even had Notre Dame ranked that high to begin with, considering the fucking pussy ass schedule they had the whole way after they lost to Miami and A&M. You know, like that. I'll shut up. I'll shut up. We will get there. But yeah.
No. Speak your truths. Anyway, Dave Valansky with the 5. Thank you very much. Says, in offense to Notre Dame, the playoff committee should have never had them ahead of Miami in the beginning. Other than that, whining Irish. Whining Irish.
Yep.
Or we call them the crying Irish. Like here, Schizoid Man with the 5. Thank you, says, lol, the crying Irish think they're too good for Pop-Tarts. Literally called themselves out of the Pop-Tart Bowl. I know.
No one's too fucking good for the Pop-Tarts Bowl, man. That is the best mid-bowl game that there is on the whole docket every fucking year, the last couple of years. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. Sharpshooter James, appreciate the 5, says 13-10. Ha, 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 ha. Go Dogs. Yeah. That could mean an abundance of scores, but I think I know which one.
God. Yep.
Kurzov with the 2. Opt out like a champion.
All right, we need to get to this shit. Thank you guys so much for the donations.
First off, let's go ahead. You know what? I think you already know where we need to begin. Let's go ahead and continue off from where we are. Let's go ahead and let you get your copium out of the way. And because I know you've been frothing out the mouth to give your thoughts. So spit your truths. Indiana goes above Ohio State. The Buckeyes go down to Indiana 13-10. The backbreaker was, of course, that missed field goal, that missed 27-yard field goal. And then from that point onward, everybody had a feeling Ohio State was screwed, and that's exactly how it turned out. So Mendoza pretty much solidified his Heisman, and now that's all I got to say. Red, begin your yapping. I'll hush. Tell him what you got to tell him.
What the fuck was that? Like, I knew going into this game, like, okay, this is going to be the hardest game we play all season because it's Indiana. We all saw going into the game that Indiana has the ability to win in close games. We saw that they were able to come out and win against Iowa. We saw that they handled Oregon and were able to make the second half adjustments to put the Ducks away on the road in Autzen Stadium. We saw that they were able to come back from a really tough game against the Penn State and Nittany Lions. I know Penn State's shit, but they have great players, and when they want to be good, God damn it, they're one of the best teams in the country still. And of course, I saw Indiana play firsthand in person 2 weeks ago when they played Purdue. And the one thing that struck me was how well composed that football team really is. They literally walk in, take care of business, walk out. No moment's too big. No one was for them. It was all team. And I give my hat to Curt Cignetti and what the Hoosiers did on Saturday, because that is a great football team. What Cignetti has done to Indiana in 2 years is something that will be written about in college football for generations to come. He's made history. So that's my praise for the Hoosiers. I'm going to start there, because even though they beat us, we could have just as easily beaten them. And I'll tell you why. You talk about the missed field goal at the end. Okay, that was bad. You know what would have helped? You know what really would have been nice? If we had taken the goddamn points the drive before. Because I hate to tell you guys this, but going full macho man, yeah, on the fucking Big Ten championship game, when it's 4th and short and you're right in front of the field goals, not taking the goddamn points was the biggest mistake Ryan Day could have made. Why? Because when that field goal was missed later, guess what that would have been? Tie game, overtime. Anything could have fucking happened then. That was the dumbest decision. Our offensive line couldn't fucking block anything. Julian Sand was getting his ass whipped in the backfield. Our running attack didn't show up. Got lost in Albuquerque, I think. Jeremiah Smith, virtually ineffective most of the game. Our defense played extremely well. Again, that was the best part of our team on Saturday. Our defense did what they needed to do. They held Indiana to 13 points. 13 goddamn points. Any other football game we played this year, Ohio State wins. You know why we didn't win? Because we made bonehead decisions on offense. Stupid fucking decisions. Sure, let's do a methodical drive all the way downfield and then miss the fucking kick. Are you kidding me? So, we could have been literally like Thanos on Saturday. No one was going to like us. I'm not a fan of Ohio State to be loved. I'm a fan of Ohio State because I love the team. And I know damn well we were the evil villain on Saturday. And I would have loved nothing more than to have been like Thanos at the end of the first film and just snap away Indiana's hopes and dreams with a field goal to end it or a fucking overtime win. That would have been amazing. But instead, we end up losing 13-10 again. It's literally Michigan, but add in the missed field goal against Georgia in the 2022 Peach Bowl. That one, the one that was shanked so badly, I thought the kicker broke his fucking leg when he went to kick it. God! Fuck you, Ryan Day, for making me ever believe that you are actually good at your job. I gave you an ounce, 1 fucking ounce of credit. And this is what you do with it. Well done, sir. Fuck you. Thanks for the national title. Thank you for finally beating Michigan. It took you 5 years to beat them once. If it wasn't for that national title win, I'd say you're no better than John Cooper. I'm done.
Do you ever, this is a legitimate question, We do this show together, Red. You've heard me an abundance of times here on the FBS Report lose my sanity for losing these types of games and to the point where we don't even make this game. Do you ever think to yourself, boy, am I glad to be in this position and not in his? Do you ever think that? Because you should really start considering it. It's just a genuine thought, because here's my opinion. Here's my whole opinion on this. You spent 10 minutes ranting and acting like it was the end of the world and Armageddon was here because you lost by 3 points in the Big Ten championship to arguably the favorite to win it all. You went down one spot in the playoff rankings from number 1 to number 2. You've still got a first round bye in the playoffs, and your co-host of the show is heading to the one bowl game he doesn't want to go to, and that's the Music City Bowl. And you're acting like your world is ending? Really? Really? Oh, come on, man. Because that's a load of fucking bullshit is what that is.
Squid. I counter your poverty fandom as a Volunteers fan, which, by the way, honestly, you're still in the SEC and you still, on a pretty good year, do pretty well with Josh Heupel. Y'all are better off than what you ever were, all right? I counter you by saying this. I'm a goddamn Bengals fan as well.
What's that got to do with anything? I'm a Saints fan. That's even worse.
I forgot. You were a goddamn Saints fan.
Yeah, there you go. What'd you think? Look, what'd you think? I was a dadgum Buffalo Bills fan? No,
for some reason I thought you were a Titans fan or a Carolina fan, which honestly I don't know if that's better or anything. But anyway, you know what? You do make a good point. You do make a good point. I was acting like a petulant child. But you know something? I'm just gonna be real with you, Squid. I think it's just different because you got to remember something.
Different leagues.
Yeah, no, you're going to go different leagues. So it's different because you got to look at it from a different perspective. The Tennessee Volunteers in your whole lifetime have not really been successful. Like the last national championship was in 1998. And so Ohio State, we've won 3 national titles since then, multiple BCS bowls, multiple playoffs. When you're constantly in that world of like this team, it has an expectation to be successful, and we have been there, you constantly expect them to get back to that level and to stay there and to do everything at all costs to stay there. Does that mean that when I am coping, seething, and molding over Ohio State losing to arguably the greatest Indiana team of all time, if that makes me look like a petulant child, I'll accept that. Because at the end of the day, I know that this team is really damn good, and they could be so much better than what they're playing because I feel like they've left a lot on the table. I feel like they could be better than Indiana. They could be better than Georgia. They could be better than Texas Tech because that performance on Saturday would not have beaten any of those fuckers. That's why I'm pissed. I know there's potential in them to be the best team in the country, and they didn't show it. It's the missed potential that really pissed me off. The dumb mistakes that pissed me off. Am I grateful that they're in the playoffs and they're going to be sitting on their ass in the first round? Yeah, I'm grateful for that. Of course I am. And I'm keeping that in perspective. But if I'm going to see bullshit, I'm going to yell about that bullshit. And I'm going to expect greatness from a team that should be great. That's just my thoughts. That doesn't take away from the fact that I know that I need to be grateful, that I need to be humble about this. I get it. And I understand everybody's opinion on that, and that's fine. You can think about it however you want to feel about it, and I respect your opinion, Squid.
Fair enough. Alrighty then. Well, yeah, it might have done you favors though, because as soon as you lost 13-10 the last time, you went on a death stream and won the national championship. So we'll see. We'll find out in due time.
Yeah, true. It kind of does wake us up a little bit when we get our asses whipped. It's a come to Jesus moment because literally the entire city of Columbus will be putting moving signs on your front lawn if you lose a game.
Right.
And you're on that team.
Christopher Culpepper, thank you for the 5, says Notre Dame would have possibly been an ACC champ for the past or the past 3 years if they would have put that ring on their finger. Well, they're in the process of burning every bridge they possibly can with the ACC, so I don't even think they want them at this point. AT Astrophotography, thank you for the 2. Thanks, says the nightmare score for the Buckeyes again, 13-10. Ouchies.
I'm gonna be hearing that all night.
Golem 222, and I'm a Giants fan. Nobody's perfect, you two.
I mean, hey,
can't win them all. Can't win them all. Or if you're a Saints fan, can't win anything. Rangab 248 says, just came in. Sorry to Red, but at least they're still in it. Notre Dame robbed us of a bloodbath between them and BYU in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Also, be thankful FSU rejected a bowl. Call up for one more episode.
I am very thankful this holiday season that Florida State decided to keep their asses on the couch this winter. Thank you, Florida State, for doing the right thing.
And this is a total side note, by the way, nothing in regards to the actual game, but a prominent YouTuber here on this platform yesterday or the day before, he was talking about Fernando Mendoza, and he called him something like, oh, look at this goofball. Look at this goofball. It looks exactly like Squidtard. So, yeah. I guess I'm Fernando Mendoza now, but it's not the message itself, okay? See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It would be like, you know what that is? It would be like somebody from the top 0.1% saying tax the rich. Like, the message itself isn't bad. I don't care about if I'm like compared to Fernando Mendoza. Well, what I do care about is who the message is coming from. Because it's coming from somebody that looks like a one-legged Billy Napier and Uncle Lou. Yes, I'm talking to you, buddy. You think you can get away with that one? No, I heard what you said. Don't you ever call me no dadgum goofball with your Billy Napier-looking ass anymore. You got that? Thank you. All right.
Arby's. We've got beef, motherfucker!
You were dying to play that one, huh? All right, great.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Great. All right. Bacon Inferno, thank you for the 5, says, at least you didn't go 2-10 and lose to Sam Houston. Oh, God. That's
good
point.
That's a very fair point.
At least next year we'll have a conference to take in some Bama staff. Yeah, took their coordinator too. That's gonna be a hell of a pickup for you. Or I guess we'll find out. We're going to talk about all the coaches that got hired in a minute because there's a lot that got hired this week that we got to go over. I didn't touch on Tim Banks getting canned at the start of the show, but that's all there was to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. Well, let's go ahead and Parkour with the 5. Thank you, good sir. Says Auburn snub from the number 12 spot. Hate to see it. Yeah, tough break for Auburn.
So close. If only they had just won 4 more games, then people would have kind of considered them.
I mean, if you think about it, they at least got close by technicality because Alex Golish, who's their head coach now, got South Florida very, very close. But
I mean, greatness by proximity, right? You got a coach that took a team from the American almost all the way. That means you are almost all the way a decent team. Look at the positive.
Right. Don't feed Phil. Thank you, sir. He says we should remove the word fighting from the Fighting Irish, end this dump charade, and join a conference. Tell it like it is. Speak the truth.
Everyone's just chanting the same thing in Notre Dame right now.
Because they need to hear it. If they were in a conference, they would have had better odds. But
they've been hearing it.
I guarantee you that. Anyway, let's talk about the one of the controversial thingamabobbers that happened this week. So SEC championship happens. Yeah, great. What do you freaking do? The Dogs win. My reverse psychology, my reverse jinx failed yet again. Georgia absolutely obliterated Alabama. This wasn't a competition. No. This is the result of what happens when you get a Georgia team that's as talented as they are that actually plays a full 4-quarter game of football. Because we've been seeing it for at least 2/3 of the entire season with Georgia. They come in and they play about 2 quarters and then die, or they stay dead for 2 quarters and then start playing real football and come back. This is the result of what happens when you get a Georgia team that plays a full game of football for the full thing, for the full 60 minutes. Because boy, did they put the whooping on Alabama. Gunnar Stockton looked pretty good out there. 3 touchdowns, only 6 incompletions out of 20 passes. Dude looked really, really good out there. Meanwhile, Bart Simpson, terrible day for him. He could not perform to any capacity under the Georgia defensive rush. His offensive line was just getting melted on every single possession. And obviously they could not run the ball in any capacity. -3 yards total. -3 rushing yards total for Alabama is the story that everybody's focusing on. So the real conversation with Alabama going into this week is the fact that they lost the SEC championship and did not fall even a little bit because of it. I think we were all under the expectation that either Miami or Notre Dame, whoever was going to be, which is obviously going to be Miami, was going to jump Alabama for the 9 seed, and then Bama was going to fall down to 10. But that did not happen. Bama stayed right where they were. And to be honest, not exactly of course, people are pissed about it, but it's not exactly the weirdest thing I've ever heard because, truth be told, I mean, it wouldn't have made a lot of sense for Miami to jump Alabama for a game that they didn't even play in because Miami wasn't in the ACC championship. They didn't get that extra game. Alabama did. Now, they lost to Georgia, which means that they weren't going to move up. And people talk about how BYU got punished, and they didn't either. BYU stayed exactly where they were. They were never in the battle to begin with. People talk about, oh, we lost Red. We'll see him in a minute. People talk about how BYU got punished because they lost the Big 12 championship, but they didn't. They stayed right where they were. They were never in the playoff race. They needed to beat Texas Tech in order to actually get into the playoff race. So that was exactly that's exactly my thoughts on that. But yeah, Georgia looked really good in this game. If they play like this throughout the entirety of the playoff run, they're at least a top 4 finalist.
So I got a lot I would like to say about this fucking shit. First off, Squid, I want you to say it. Just say it because I know it'll hurt your heart. How good is Georgia? Are they the best team in the nation or one of the best teams in the nation by far?
One of the top 4, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know that
they belong where they're ranked, if I'll say that.
I know that just absolutely eats your fucking ass alive. All right, look.
Tortures my soul.
I know it does. Look, I am just going to go ahead and just say to the committee, why are you absolutely sucking off Alabama? I'm just going to come out and say it. Why the fuck are you sucking off Alabama? Is it because of the name? Is it because of the conference? Is it because of the perception that they're great? Nobody from Alabama made the Final Four of the Heisman this season. Number one. Okay. Number two, they've been playing terrible down the stretch. These last 4 or 5 games that Alabama has played have been their worst of the season. They're right back to where they were when they started. Speaking of, I know that I know there's been arguments that, they one of those losses in the conference championship was a conference championship game, so you can't really blame them for that loss. Okay, I counter that by countering you with this. How the fuck do you explain the Florida State loss? If you're going to go ahead and count Miami up and just say, oh, well, Miami beat Notre Dame week 1, so we're going to give Miami the edge. Okay, cool. Why aren't you counting on that Florida State game and making it fucking even? Because that game, they got absolutely demolished by the Seminoles. I went back and I rewatched Dixieland Destruction yesterday after the fucking rankings came out. They got smoked. They were beaten. They were not the better team that day. And honestly, it reminded me a lot of how they looked in that goddamn Georgia game, if you can believe it or not. The only difference is Florida State had a far worse defense that Alabama was actually able to exploit, whereas the Dogs, well, they're the Dogs. They played like shit against LSU. They played like, against South Carolina at times. They absolutely shit themselves against Oklahoma at home, I might add, at home. And then they nearly lose to a head coachless 5-7 Auburn Tigers team. But Mr. Talking Head of the committee is going to be like, the way they came back down on that, 4th down play and the balls they had in that final drive, that's going to give them the edge every time. What the fuck are you talking about? Seriously, what the fuck are you actually? They had 3 losses. 3. BYU only had 2. And BYU, they got beat worse than Alabama. So, of course, you're not going to include them in the argument. Notre Dame only had 2. And their 2 losses are far better than Alabama's 3 losses. Texas A&M and Miami. I hate the Irish. I don't fucking like them, but I honestly don't mind siding with them here. I think they should have been in over Alabama, bar none. I give a shit first about games played before I look at anything else. If I see you have 3 losses, I don't really give a shit who you lost to or where the losses were. I don't think you belong in. I know Notre Dame played a cupcake schedule. I'm not going to side with them that much. I understand the argument. They played a really shitty schedule down the road. They play one more tough game. They might be in the playoff. I don't know. But again, you look at the body of work, it's still so much worse than what the Irish or the Hurricanes had. So everyone can be like, oh, well, if they kept Alabama out, you would have been killing the conference championship once. No, you fucking wouldn't be. It's the conference championship. It's the whole reason you play the regular season, to win your conference.
Not anymore. Not with the 12-team playoff.
No,
I'll tell you.
No. I denounce that.
Well, I'll tell you this. If Alabama were to be ranked where they are, number 9, going into the conference championship, lose this game, and then be kicked out of the playoffs because they lost the conference championship, that would be the last conference championship ever played, because then they'd get rid of conference championships if that happened.
But they would have had 3 losses.
And one came to a game in a conference championship, which Notre Dame has never even won one of those because they're not in a conference.
And they lost to Florida State, who didn't even make a fucking bowl game.
And they also beat Georgia on the road, who's number 3 in the nation.
Is in this position.
Leagues and bounds better than any win Notre Dame has on their resume. You see where we're getting at here. There's a lot of distinctions that can be made, a lot of arguments that can be made. The playoff committee has certainly put themselves in a hole with a lot of the ups and downs, all of the convolutions that have been made. They contradict themselves more often than not every time that they speak, because I listen to them and tell me if this is true or not, but they were talking about how Vandy didn't have a quality win because Tennessee was no longer ranked, but then they kind of propped up Alabama for beating Auburn. So I guess we can argue till we're blue in the face about which team, which win, which loss, which resume overall is better than which one. But what can't be argued is that Alabama should have been kicked out for losing in a conference championship when most teams in the country didn't even get the honors of playing in that. And if they did get kicked out for losing in a conference championship, that would be the end of conference championships, because then nobody would want to be there anymore.
Well, then you just simply require the teams to be there, or else they get a punishment and they forfeit the game, and it goes against them. That's real simple. It's real simple. You know how much money these conference championships make these conferences? They wouldn't dare allow Alabama to just be like, you know what, deuces, we're out. We're not going to play because we lost last year. Oh, no, you're going to fucking play because there's a lot of goddamn money on the line, and you're going to get a cut of that. And if you don't, we're going to fine your ass. We're going to punish your ass. You're going to feel the wrath of the mighty SEC come down upon your house.
That's the first unrelated, but that's the first time I ever heard you say mighty SEC. But
I am so sick and tired of this argument of resume building. Just play the goddamn games and let the cards fall where they lie. I'm tired of
exactly. That's why Notre Dame's not in the playoffs, because they lost the only 2 games. They lost the 2 good games they had on their resume.
I'm aware of that, but the posturing and you know what? If we go out there like bodybuilders and just flex our muscles, maybe the playoff committee will invite us to the party. No, that's not how football is supposed to work. You go in, you play the fucking games, and if you win, you're rewarded. If you lose, you're punished. That is how it has worked since time immemorial for any contest. This is not a beauty pageant. This is pigskin. This is the gridiron. This is Joe Heisman's baby, for God's sake. And we should be treating it with respect. And I don't think we are right now with the committee and what the fuck they did on Sunday.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to disagree with that one, because if we got we're 30 minutes into the show, we could argue about this until the end of time about what matters more between conference championships. Oh no, I don't disagree with that. No, we could literally argue about this for 2 hours, spend the entire length of the show yapping about it to each other, and then everybody would love it. But
this is why y'all tune in. A Big Ten fan and an SEC fan trying to yell at each other about what is the right way to look at college football. In other words, just another Monday night in a bar somewhere.
Yeah, I saw people saying that Alabama is the only conference champion that didn't receive any punishment for losing, but BYU didn't. BYU didn't fall at all in any capacity for getting blown out by Texas Tech. But the issue there was that they were never in there to begin with. They were never in the battle. They needed to beat Texas Tech in order to get in. But they weren't punished. They weren't punished for losing that game.
No,
if it's going to get to a point where like teams are getting kicked out for losing their conference championship game, then why have a conference championship if nobody wants to be in it? That's the
money
problem.
Talks, bullshit walks. That's why, Squid.
The only thing walking right now is the bullshit in my eyes, but there was no way we were going to get through this show without having that debate. So I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Damn right.
Doc Proc 144. Thank you for the 5. Says Notre Dame getting a guaranteed playoff spot if they finish in the top 12 starting next year is BS. Their schedule next year is weak AF. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. If the playoff committee starts catering to Notre Dame, then that's going to set up some really big problems in the future, because then people cry about SEC bias. That right there is proof that there's a Notre Dame bias, and even then they still can't get in.
There's always been a Notre Dame bias. There's always been that. Go back and watch my video on the Bowl Alliance and the Bowl Coalition. They had clauses back then. If Notre Dame did this, then Notre Dame gets to be in one of the big 6 bowl games. In the BCS, if Notre Dame finished in a certain spot, they were automatically guaranteed a BCS bowl, regardless of who the fuck they played. It's just the same bullshit incarnate with the goddamn college football playoff. It's doing what the BCS and the Bowl Coalition fucked up. It never ends. And honestly, yeah, they just need if they get a harder conference schedule, I'll shut the fuck up. But or a harder schedule to begin with, I'll shut up. But like right now, with what they got next year, fuck that. No.
Well, it's hilarious because Notre Dame's the reason we even have a playoff, because they did this when the BCS was still around. Remember remember when all that went down? Yeah, they're the reason that we have what we have right now. So if anybody's to blame for it, it's themselves.
Yeah, thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
Yeah. Don't feed Phil. Appreciate the 2. Says the real problem is that Virginia lost to Duke. That's a very good point. In fact, I have it pulled up right here. What a game this was. Overtime battle between Duke and Virginia. Put up a hell of a fight. Both of these teams did. Really, really fun game to watch. But the Cavaliers did not have their best game overall. Made too many mistakes against the Duke defense. And there was a lot of funny narratives that came from this result. The funniest to me individually, I mean, everybody's going to talk about how funny it is that now we have 2 group of 5 teams in the playoffs because of the ACC being so bad, which is very, very funny. It really talks about how the ACC is the true tank conference of college football. But to me, one of the funniest narratives that came from this was the fact that now Manny Diaz has an ACC championship before Miami's entire program. And they fired the man. They fired the man while he was at Miami. He goes to Duke and then wins the ACC before Miami. That is absolutely insane.
Well done, ACC. Well fucking done.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you one narrative that's emerged over the last couple of days. It's not so funny. People saying that this is why we need to fix the college football playoff and not allow a group of 5 teams anymore. No, fuck you. No, why the hell would you even do that? That is a dumbass argument to even begin with, because here's the thing. You're telling me we need to ostracize the group of 6, group of 5, however many group of whatever conferences, the mid-majors. We need to ostracize them because what? A 7-5 team won a power conference. Now you're butthurt about it. Get the fuck over yourselves. Listen, the group of 5, I know people are like, oh, they'll never win a national championship. Yeah, maybe not. But what if they do? You never know what the hell could happen on a given Sunday, any given year. All it takes is one fucking snap of the football to change everything. I'm aware BYU was the last mid-major team to win it all in the mid-'80s, and I know that there's probably a better argument for there to be a separate playoff for the group of 5 or group of 6 in general every season, so that way it can drive more revenue for those schools. I understand that side of the business argument, but at the same time, until you have that, you can't ostracize them. You want to know why? Lawsuit, monopoly, lawsuit, PCS group. It's going to be the same bullshit that happened before. So history doesn't repeat. It fucking rhymes. I feel like a lot of shit is rhyming right now when it comes to, the group of five breaking the college football playoff and everyone getting all butthurt about and saying shit that people were saying about when Boise State made the BCS, when the goddamn Bowl Coalition Bowl Alliance wasn't working the way it should have been. Like when Notre Dame 6-6 Notre Dame or 6-5 Notre Dame went to the Fiesta Bowl during the Bowl Coalition years, he got shit on by Colorado. It's the same old goddamn bullshit, just a different look. And Utah, don't forget about Utah.
Absolutely right. So yeah, no, we all know, we all get it. We all understand. It's bullshit all around is what it is. The whole thing. But I do think the ACC for creating absolute chaos all the same.
It keeps us in business, man. I mean, that's the best way to look at it. Like, hey, you actually talk about because the ACC decided to just shit their pants violently and with absolute authority. Like they didn't just shit their pants. They looked you in the eye, held up their arms, grunted, and went, "I am the shittiest," and then just absolutely blasted a hole in their pants. Like they owned this shit.
Oh, absolutely. See, that's the thing about college football is that we're always going to have content because the only constant in college football is chaos. Indeed. That is what we know for sure. Beyond all else. So
you get bored during a college football season, you're doing it wrong.
Exactly. No, there is always enough content for everybody. That is the absolute truth.
Speaking of content, just wait till we get to Notre Dame.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well, it's about that time, shall we? I'll just go ahead and show the playoff poll to everybody. I'm sure you already know the playoffs. I'm sure you see the playoff rankings. And I'm sure more importantly, you've seen the playoffs themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, my goodness. Got a lot. I'll tell you what. I mean, we could talk until we're blue in the face about where teams should have been ranked and all of that. Because there's a lot that we could go off. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up the poll, but you know what I really hate, man, is when you're downloading something off of the internet and then it downloads it as a .web page file.
Oh.
Whoever created that file, you are an absolute monster to society. You're down there with like the Jerry Sandusky's of the world.
Whoa!
Messed up, man.
Whoa! Holy!
So you're trying to download a file.
What the f was that?
Damn.
Yeah, you're acting like that's the weirdest thing that was said on this show.
No, I just didn't fucking expect you to go full. I thought you were be like, oh, I thought you were Satan. I thought you were Stalin. No, you went full child predator. Like, god damn. Jesus Christ. I did not expect that.
Anyway. Yeah.
No, we're not if you don't know, we're not giving context on this show.
Yeah. The only context you're getting is no context.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Anyway, what I was trying to pull up, and I'm gonna find it because I'm sure it's somewhere around here, was the playoff poll. I was gonna show you guys the playoff poll, but I'm sure you guys already know what the games are. You've seen them for yourselves. You already know what the games are. So the top four teams that are getting buys are Ohio State, Indiana, Texas Tech, and Georgia. Not in that particular order, but those are the four teams that are getting buys.
Yep,
then after that, you sort of go down the list, and then the first round games are the fun ones for me. That's where the entertainment really begins.
I know, because we got Kent State, UTEP, Sam Houston, and fucking FAU hosting home games in the first round of the playoffs. Congratulations to all those teams. What an incredible run.
Yeah, what really? And then you woke up. and then you woke up.
Yeah, I was drinking. Sorry.
Yeah, I can tell. You've been drinking since the end of that game Saturday night.
Yeah, my liver. Oh God, yeah, my liver is on its last legs.
Yeah, I feel that. You got to give yourself some time to rest because
this is not water.
Here we go. Finally. Okay. Sorry, everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Let's go. Okay. So yes, those are the 4 bye teams: Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, and Texas Tech. I thought it was interesting that Ohio State didn't fall below Georgia and Texas Tech. I thought they were going to get 4. They only got 2.
No, I could see them like it was a close dogfight of a game. It's happened before where 1 and 2 just switch places whenever one beats the other. It's not without precedent. I wasn't too mad about that.
Yeah. Alex Guzman, appreciate the 5, says, bro, I just read an article saying Notre Dame will have playoff clause for their tantrum so long they're number 12 starting next year. So what, they can lose their only 2 important games of the year? Yeah, right. Okay.
Against who? Fucking USC and
whoever whatever 2 games that actually matter for them next year. Anyway, though, the playoff games are the interesting part here. So we got James Madison versus Oregon, Alabama versus Oklahoma. That one's actually the first one. That's going to be the first playoff game, the one that's played Friday night. And that one's going to be very, very interesting. It's a rematch, the Crimson Tide heading down to Oklahoma. And then also a rematch, but this one in Oxford. I think it is another rematch in Oxford. Yeah. Yep. I forgot because Tulane, they didn't host Ole Miss the last time. So yeah, no, it is. It's basically a literal rematch of what happened last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ole Miss
I hope they put up a better fight.
5 touchdowns last time. I don't know if you know that.
I hope they put up a better fight. Yeah.
It was a bloodbath.
And then, Miami, basically Notre Dame's 2 quality losses are facing each other. Miami and Texas A&M, this one in College Station. So, these are some really, really good games here.
I think I was surprised. I figured they were going to kick us off with on that Friday night with Tulane versus Ole Miss, but no, we get Norman under the lights hosting Alabama. That's going to be I think that game right there will be that's going to get the most intrigue because a lot of people are going to be yelling at Alabama like, you don't fucking belong here and all that bullshit, while Miami and Texas A&M, like, that's going to be a good game competitive wise, but the storylines are with Alabama, Oklahoma.
Yeah. Nathan Tucker, thank you for the 2, says the bottom line is they lost to Miami first game and then lost to A&M their second. So that's just how it is. That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But this is your playoffs, and I guess no reason not to touch on it. And we've already had several conversations, so no point regurgitating all the narratives about what we think when it comes to who should have been in and who shouldn't have been in, because it's very obvious that, a lot of people in the comments disagree with each other, disagree with either me or Red. Hell, even me and Red disagree with each other on who thinks should have been in and not. But we can all, as a collective, agree on one thing and one thing only, and that Notre Dame is extremely, extremely soft for a lot of reasons. And the first one for me is that they opted out and decided to quit the dadgum Pop-Tart Bowl. You absolute crybabies. You don't get your way. You don't get in the playoffs. So instead of playing against another team that was out, BYU, and then beating them to prove why you should have been in, no. Instead, what you do is you decide as a collective to quit and leave everything behind, take your ball and go home because we're not in the playoffs. So we're not going to play a bowl game. We're going to screw over BYU in the process. You absolute freaking crybabies. The whole lot of you. The absolute whole lot of you. You're not better than anybody else. You as a brand is not better than anybody else. I mean, I've never seen a team as a whole act so high and mighty like Notre Dame is right now. I'll give Florida State credit, even though their entire team basically hit the transfer portal or opted out. They still showed up back in 23 when they got snubbed from the bowl game or snubbed from the playoffs. They showed up in the Orange Bowl or whatever it was to play Georgia and then get their ass whipped and then get ready for next year. I'll give them credit for that. Alabama did the same thing when they got snubbed and they were the number 13 team. They at least showed up to get beat down by Michigan and then get ready for next year. This is the softest thing I have ever seen from a team, anywhere near the top 25. This This is extremely soft, especially for a so-called blue blood. This is absolutely ridiculous. Red, tell me this. Do you think if Ohio State ever got left out of the playoffs like Notre Dame did, do you think they'd ever, as a collective, opt out of the bowl game? Do you think they'd ever just quit like that as a whole? I sure hope the answer is no.
I mean, honestly, no. The city of Columbus would fucking riot, number one. But number two, I think we need to have a little bit of a history lesson here because honestly, it's not as shocking as you would think, considering that Notre Dame from the mid-1920s to the late 1960s said no to every single bowl opportunity, major and not, that was thrown their way because they saw the bowl system as too capitalistic, too fucking greedy, not for the right reasons. And it wasn't until the after 1968 when they started taking bowl invites, but on a very limited basis, if it meant that they could have a better shot of winning the national championship. So a lot of people online are saying and hollering, I want to get something very clear here. This is not the death knell of the bowl season. This is Notre Dame just pulling this old fucking trick out of their dusty-ass rule playbook and say, well, we're not in the hunt for a national title, so we're just not going to play because we're Notre Dame. We're too good for that. It's not without precedent. They do this shit a lot, honestly. They really do. They are, in the history of FBS, they are the team that has had the most opt-outs out of any other team. I think Iowa State might be the next team on that list with the most opt-outs. And that's not even for the same reason. So from a historical perspective, I'm not surprised. But that does not excuse the fact that this is still an incredibly short-sighted and bullshit move. Okay, I'm sorry. I know you don't play for the national championship this season. I'm sorry. You should have won at least one more game, and you probably would have made it in. Maybe if you had beaten A&M or Miami like you should have. Okay, got it. Why are you turning down free money? Because when you go to these bowl games, you make money. You
Very
get
true.
a cut of the pie. Why are you turning down money? I don't give you that. Well, you just said they were not about the greed. Yeah, from the 20s to the 60s, they didn't like the greed. But guess what? Even for God's chosen chumps of change, money talks, bullshit walks. And Notre Dame, oh boy, you can bet your ass they care about that money. That revenue deal with NBC is real nice. Don't forget, by the way, that when, say, Ohio State makes the college football playoffs, not only do they get the bonus, but then a cut of their bonus goes back to the Big Ten and all the other teams in the Big Ten. Notre Dame gets the entire college football bonus to themselves when they make the playoffs. They are loaded. There's a reason they can put actual gold flecks in their goddamn helmets. So from a historical perspective, I'm not surprised. They've done this shit more than anybody else. So they're just being Notre Dame. And also, it's not doomsday for the Bulls because, okay, Iowa State opted out. Yeah, their head coach fucked off. Okay, fair enough. Kansas State opted out. Yeah, their head coach retired. They decided that team. Fair enough. You know what happened to those two teams? They got fined $500,000 each by the Big 12 Conference for opting out of their bowl game. That's a punishment, especially Iowa State, because their budget right now is so deep in the red, it's like they're bleeding profusely. Whereas Notre Dame, are they going to be punished for opting out? No, because they're Notre fucking Dame and they're not beholden to anybody. They can do whatever the hell they want. But it does make them look like pussy-ass bitches, which is exactly what I think they are. For opting out of this goddamn game with BYU instead of having a chance to go out there and prove that they're actually, a great football team and ending the season on the high note. Was it like that greedy for you? Was it so much against your goddamn morals to see a jumping mascot popping out of a toaster and be like, you know what? The good Lord don't want this for me. I'm out. Fuck you, Notre Dame. Fuck you.
Yeah, another regurgitated narrative. I've seen this in the chat. I've seen it well before now is, why play in a meaningless bowl game? All these bowl games that aren't the playoffs are meaningless. Meaningless, you say. So it's meaningless to the seniors who get to put on the helmet and the jersey one last time, the ones who aren't going to go pro. It's meaningless to them? I don't think so. It's meaningless to BYU, who's still opted and ready to play this game? I don't think so. It's meaningless to the fans who want to see their team go out there one last time before they have to wait 8 months to play football again? I don't think so. And as Red said, it's definitely not meaningless to the administration, who knows they're going to get a good ton of money for even showing up to play in here. So stop with the whole it's meaningless. And it's not meaningless. None of it is meaningless. Saying the bowl game is meaningless is just an excuse because your whiny ass refused to show up and play in the bowl game. You dodged BYU. You ducked them. You ducked the Cougars. And you ducked consequences. That's what happened. So, womp, womp, too bad for you. Now the entire college football world knows who you really are. A bunch of whiny, pathetic, sad saps of shit who cry and bitch and complain and moan and run away with shit all up in your pants when you don't get your way. That's the reality of the situation.
I guarantee you, Just John Jesus in South Bend right now isn't like this. He's like this. You're shaking his head in disappointment. Like, why the fuck are you so dumb? Why do I have to be here and watch this shit? Why? It's ridiculous. But again, hey, they did it to themselves. The missing the playoffs, the missing the bowl game, the deciding the way that they're acting and carrying themselves. They're the ones doing themselves no favors. They had sympathy. I had sympathy for them for 5 fucking minutes when Alabama got selected over them. I actually had sympathy.
Yep.
And then it got ripped away because they said, oh, shit, we don't want people feeling bad for us. Let's be complete dicks and say, no, we're too good for you.
No, if they had handled this with some respect and just said, hey, we're devastated that we're not in. We thought we should have been in. Let's go out there against BYU and show them why we belonged. If they had just done that, everybody would have been like, well, good job, Notre Dame. You handled this with respect, and then we move on to next year. But instead, just like the 2 teams before you, you somehow one-up them even further by acting like even bigger crybabies. That's what you did. So nobody respects you anymore. Everybody just thinks everybody thinks you're an absolute clown now. So good job. Congratulations for being clowns.
I don't shit on Florida State because of the fact that they decided to play a bowl game against Georgia after they got knocked out of the playoffs, after they lost their quarterback despite going undefeated. I've never shit on Florida State once for that. I pity them. I felt bad for them. It's everything after that I fucking laugh at.
Yeah.
This is like different. This is completely different. It's so fucking bad.
You know what I think we need to do? I have a running gag over here on Squidtard Sports, where every time we talk, a ton, but it's more a reference to Florida State. A lot of the time that I mention Florida State being clowns, I put up a picture of Kirk Herbstreit and it just says repost to scare Florida State fans. We need to start doing that with Tyler Buckner. He's the new Kirk Herbstreit. All right. Anyway, P-Dog 193. Thank you for the 2. Says now watch Notre Dame get karma and only get 4 wins in 26. Well, I'll tell you what, that probably won't be enough to push them into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Nathan Tucker with the 2. Alabama last year. I think he's talking about in reference to Notre Dame being a bunch of whiny boohoo babies.
Yeah, agreed. That's exactly what he was talking about. How they were like, "Oh, we should have been in," or like what Lane Kiffin. You could go back to Ole Miss when they were left out of the playoffs, and him bitching up a storm after that. By the way, I wonder whatever happened to that guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Also, it really sucks for the Notre Dame fans who actually wanted a bowl game. Is that now, because more than likely a lot of their players are going to opt out. Jeremiah Love was most definitely not going to play in that game. But they were going to get to see their freshmen. They were going to get to see some players that they haven't seen. They get to see what the future looks like, or at least a taste of it. Now they don't get that. Plus, they don't get all those additional practices that come with being in a bowl game. The season's just over. Everybody took their ball and went home. So you no additional practices for all your players. And the next time you get to practice is during spring camp. That's where you're at. And then you get some practices through the spring. And then you get fall camp, and then you get the season, and that's it. So
this could time to wait for Notre Dame fans.
Absolutely. This could 100% come back to bite them, and I do mean that. That could 100% come back to bite their team in the booty cheeks. Maybe it won't. Maybe they'll be better next year, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, the way this has gone, though, that's not how it's going to pan out.
They're losing a lot of talent, and I don't see them being anywhere near as good as they were this year, next season.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to regress a little bit.
And
not like 6-6 bad, but like I can see them at 3-8-4. Might lose an extra game or two.
Well, I hope they don't go 10-2 again, because if they do and they get left out, oh boy, the wham will be a lot. And let's make it clear. I mean, we did this with Alabama last year too. It's not like a Notre Dame thing specifically. Like when Alabama fans and the administration, all that was crying and screaming and moaning about how they should have been in the playoffs. We were all doing this same thing last year, and we laughed like hell when they lost to Michigan in the Citrus Bowl. We laughed really hard at that. But I mean, you got to give them respect for actually showing up to play in the bowl game. You got to give them respect for that. Hell, even Jalen Milroe, he showed up to play it. So, it's not like Jalen Milroe was like a projected like superstar quarterback or anything. He wasn't going high in the draft. But I mean, like even like Colorado last year, they finished 10-2, weren't even close to making the playoffs. Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, who were projected super high picks. I didn't pan out for Shedeur Sanders, but even Travis Hunter, he showed up to play the bowl game. And while they got their asses beat, again, they showed up. You got to give them respect for that, especially since the Crying Irish decided that they were too good for that. They were too good for the Pop-Tart Bowl. Oh, they're not going to show up. You absolute crybabies. My goodness, man. I mean, I do feel bad for the Notre Dame fans who actually wanted to go to the bowl game. I do feel bad for them, but I feel bad for BYU too. What are they going to do? Who knows at this point? There's a lot of unknowns.
BYU, I think they of all the teams this season that I thought were going to regress, I honestly, God, was surprised to see how well BYU did despite everything that happened with Jake Retzlaff, literally on the eve of the season, and yet they were only inches away from making the playoff. They were a breath away from making the playoff.
Right.
So I mean, you got to give BYU a ton of credit for what they did this season. Bar none, no one expected them to come out and slap around like they did. Like they did a really good job. And they kept their head coach too. They're keeping their head coach around long term. So hey, they're going to be good for a while. Big 12's got a problem, and it's full of Mormons.
Well, I'll tell you this. We got to go. I mean, we've already talked about Notre Dame for so long on this show already.
But you literally got Notre Dame scrolling on the bottom ticker, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, people need to know that that's the truth. But anyway, I'll tell you this. And this is this might be proof, Red, that you might be wrong about Notre Dame and about them regressing. Look at this. Look at this absolute turd stain, bottom of the toilet, whatever that you call a dadgum schedule. My goodness, dude. Okay, just from the looks of it, man. What's the hardest game on the schedule?
Miami.
What's the hardest game?
Miami. Or none. It's Miami. Then you might SMU could be a tough one. USC could be a tough one, maybe. Stanford, no. Syracuse, no. Boston, fuck no. Navy, maybe, but they're always a free win. Bill Belichick, goddamn no. Purdue, hell no. Sparty has been dead. I doubt they're going to choke on their own food against Rice. Wisconsin might have a shot to at least be a thorn in their ass because it is being played in Lambeau, which is cool, but damn.
No, not until they get an offense. I mean,
you're going to pull straws to really find the toughies there.
You're right. No, the only
outside of Miami, that's who the fuck you got, right? You don't have Clemson. You don't have
right. The only possible thorns in their side that I see are Miami, SMU, and USC, and that's only thorns in their side. Those are games that Notre Dame is absolutely going to be favored in. So I'm telling you right now, if they go 10-2 with their schedule, they're not getting in. They're not getting in. No, this is awful. And it's, again, granted, it's not their fault that all these teams are absolutely terrible. It's not Notre Dame's fault, but it will be their fault if they don't win it all, these games.
I'm gonna stop you right there. It's totally their fucking fault. You want to know why? Obviously, you can't control what your ACC schedule is because they do have that 5-game rotation with the ACC opponents. Okay, fair enough. You can't control how good a Boston College or a Syracuse or a Stanford's going to be every year. You can't control North Carolina on how good they're going to be. Those 4 games. Okay, I can kind of get. You can control whether or not you schedule Rice, Michigan State, Purdue, USC, and Wisconsin. Those are the games you can absolutely control. And
to their credit, USC actually is a legitimate threat more often than not.
Yes.
But everything else on here, man. Like
everything else is like, what the fuck are you doing? Okay, Wisconsin, sure. I'm sure like 9 years ago that was seen as like a legitimate threat. Purdue, Michigan State, maybe. Rice.
Well, this is the thing. This is exactly what they want, though, because all the talk around Notre Dame now is that they shouldn't schedule any of those tough games anymore. Schedule 12 nobodies, go through, beat all the nobodies, get into the playoffs at 12-0. That's what they want.
Yeah, because again, it goes back to my point earlier. I'm so sick and tired of people trying to be bodybuilders and just trying to look as good as possible without being good.
Mm-hmm.
You get to a point where we're going to have teams in there that have postured their way through a whole season, 12-0, and then they get their asses blasted in the first round. They're all like, "Oh my god, I thought they were so good." No, they weren't.
It's a group of 5 team at the Power 4 level. That's all. That's basically what we've got here. So, in my opinion, because they have this soft schedule, they should be treated like any other team in the Power Conference with a soft schedule. With no quality wins in your resume, and then you lose 2 games, boo-hoo, get on out of here. You're not making the playoffs. That's how it should be. But it won't be if they go 10-2 with this schedule and then get out of the playoffs. I'm sure the argument's going to be, well, we're Notre Dame. Who gives a shit? Nobody cares. You're Notre Dame? Okay, well, great. You can tell the team that you lose to in the Pop-Tart Bowl the year afterwards that you were Notre Dame. Nobody cares. Ah, man, it's just
Notre Dame has awoken something in both of us tonight, man. Like the fucking
they've woken something in everybody, dude. So many people. I mean, it's not just us. Everybody's pissed about the fact they opted out of the Pop-Tart Bowl. First of all, the Pop-Tart Bowl is an honor. Do you know how bad oh my goodness, dude. I would shave off every pube hair I had with a butter knife to go to the dadgum Pop-Tart Bowl over Music City.
What?
And you're telling me that this team thinks they're too good for that? Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, Charles Roberts with the 10. Thank you, good sir. He says, since Michigan's football team did teach Notre Dame how to play football, maybe they should teach them about some con man sense too. Common sense. They need to get rid of NBC since they have a stranglehold on them. Oh, yeah. NBC is the ones patting Notre Dame on their head right now. Tell them, oh, my goodness, you tried so hard. You tried so hard. You did so good. You know what the NBC is to Notre Dame? It's the Longhorn Network to Texas. A big conglomerate of people, a big conglomerate program telling, ooh, you tried so hard. You're so good. You're the best team ever in the history of history. Oh, you tried so hard. That's what they are.
Every pube hair?
What the f*** was that?
I'm sorry. I let you finish, but fuck, bro. God damn.
I don't know why. I don't know why you keep getting surprised by what I say. I
thought I was the one that was saying the crazy shit in this show. That was literally the agreement. Okay, so Red, you're going to be the crazy fucker, and I'm going to be the one with common sense. You just go absolutely and do your berserko shit. Meanwhile, you're over here just being in mustard costumes and shaving pubes and all this bullshit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you guys have been around here for long enough. How many times has he said something like that during this show? Like, we're on episode like what? We're 20 episodes in this thing. You guys have been around here for some of them. I'd assume by now you've heard this whole spiel by him more than once.
Yeah, it's just the nights where you just pop off and go berserko surprise me, because I don't expect you to go full on dummy like that at times. It almost shocks me, especially with a guy like you. It's just
Thanks. Glad you have so much faith in me.
I have a lot of faith in you, Squid. I do. But man, sometimes I'm just like, oh boy. I guess no crying in the casino, right?
Right. Dumb Gamers, appreciate the 10, says Notre Dame deserves 5 hits at the Houston Texans defense. Such a scummy move to do. A spit to the face of every G5 school. I might go to the Texas Bowl, by the way. Well, first of all, you have fun. You have fun going to the Texas Bowl. Not sure whether you're an LSU fan or a Houston fan, but whoever you are, best of luck to you.
Houston fan, actually. He's a frequent on my channel.
Ooh.
Number 1. Hello, Sugar Daddy. Nice to see you again.
Well, you ought to be glad to know Kiffin is not there yet.
He coming.
He will be.
Oh, he coming.
He will be. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Real quick, before we continue on with ragging on Notre Dame, because we can do that for the rest of the show. Let's run through the bowl games real fast. We don't need to give any predictions.
Please,
yeah.
There's
Not
one
yet.
bowl game in particular we need to jump on. Literally, Georgia, was it Georgia Southern? It had to be. I think it was Georgia Southern. Was looking around on Sunday night like, why nobody want me? Because the Birmingham Bowl took fucking forever because of the opt-outs to find an opponent.
Yep.
Then that game is going to be 5-7 App State against Georgia Southern, a rivalry rematch in the Birmingham Bowl. I mean, shit, that's great. Actually, honestly, people are like, oh, that's awful for the bowl. They had no other choice. Fuck you. It's a rivalry. Imagine if Ohio State and Michigan played in the playoffs. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, right. Doc Brock, appreciate it too, says Notre Dame plays nobodies every year. SMH, yeah. And then when you lose to the 2 quality teams you play, well, guess what? Bye-bye to you. Dumb Gamers, he says Houston, so you're a Houston fan. Well, best of luck to you. Hope everything goes well. Kiffinless LSU you got to go up against. So I think your odds are pretty good. We'll find out in due time. Don't become a victim of the different leagues principle.
Different leagues.
No, yeah, not just different conferences, different leagues.
Fuck off, Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, unfortunately, he won't. That's one thing you can count on there. Okay, well, some of these bowl games have got me interested. So the first one that we get to see is the Bucked Up LA Bowl between Boise State and Washington. It's going to be a good game. Washington State is the defending MAC champions.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of historic beef. Washington took legendary Boise State coach Chris Peterson after their miracle runs in the late 2000s, early 2010s, and took them to Washington, and they did fuck all with them. So a little bit of a historical beef between the schools. That's going to be fun to watch.
Hell yeah. Next up, we got Troy and Jacksonville State, the losers of their bowl games. This is in the Salute to Veterans Bowl. I think Jacksonville State was in this one last year too, or that could have been another bowl game. But they played pretty early on a bowl season last year too. Going to be interesting to see them back in it against another conference opponent or another conference championship loser.
Yeah, Jacksonville State, I think, is going to have the upper hand in that one. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I think that Goose Crowder, as good as he is with Troy, Jacksonville State, they for whatever reason, they kind of seem to be the stubborn thorn in the side of every mid-major in college football right now. They can't really be getting rid of them.
Mm-hmm. The Staff DNA Cure Bowl, Old Dominion and South Florida, both teams sitting at 9-3. Well, we all know the story with South Florida. They were a very highly touted team early on in the season. The favorite to make the playoffs sort of fell apart later on, lost the big games that they needed to win. So we all know the story with them. Golish will still be here for this one. But nobody expected this with Old Dominion. They just kind of sneakily just tiptoed their way to 9-3 under everybody's chin. Nobody ever talked about them, but they are, and it's in the Cure Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, Old Dominion, I feel like left a lot on the table. They seemed like they were like right on the edge of being really, really good and potentially really making a lot of noise for a Group of 5 playoff spot, but just they had one or two pieces missing. Gonna be a really entertaining game for sure.
Absolutely. Heisman Baron, appreciate the 2, says next year's schedule is a gauntlet in Notre Dame terms. Damn right. Damn right. Maybe they can win more. Maybe they can go 11-1 this time. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Might be good enough for a first round visit. We'll see. Next up, this one's interesting because it is obviously Delaware's first trip to a bowl game because it's their first season. First good taste of FBS postseason. This one against Louisiana and the Ragin' Cajuns. Both teams at 6-6 going to the 68 Ventures Bowl. Dadgummit, I want it to be 69 Ventures. Look, it's like right between glory. One number or the other one. You're so close.
Honestly, I bet the Cajuns are a little bit upset that they're not back on Bourbon Street. It seems like almost for a while there, the Ragin' Cajuns always ended up in the New Orleans Bowl. For some fucking reason. It was just basically another home game for them whenever they went 6-6. So, I mean, not as much of a home field advantage, but I mean, good for Delaware. Overcame the odds, had a great season. Michigan Light going to represent in the bowl game against the Raging Cajuns. I think they might actually win. We'll see what happens.
Right, and the worst part is they got to go to Mobile, Alabama.
Oh, God.
No offense to anybody in Mobile, Alabama.
All the offense to everybody in Alabama.
Yeah, right. Speaking of teams that are getting the first taste of FBS postseason, Missouri State, guess what? They also made a bowl game, and they're going to play Butch Jones in the Xbox Bowl. I think this one was formerly called the Frisco Bowl, but yeah, now it is called the Xbox Bowl. This is the first time I've heard of this one. So congratulations on both of these teams for making the first ever Xbox Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, good for them, honestly. I don't really have a lot to say here, except honestly, I'm more surprised we don't have a PlayStation Bowl to counter the Xbox Bowl. You know, the streaming wars were such a big thing back in the day. I'm surprised it took this long to have it. Oh, yeah, thank you, guys. It replaced the Bahamas Bowl because the stadium for the Bahamas Bowl was deemed unplayable for future bowl games. So RIP to the greatest bowl of all time, the Bahamas Bowl. You will be missed.
Okay. Got it. Okay. I sort of assumed that it replaced that. It's taking place in Frisco, Texas. But yeah, no. Shout out to the Xbox Bowl. Next up, Myrtle Beach Bowl. 2 conference champions in this one. Kennesaw State with what is probably the best. It's the most improved team of the season without a doubt. This team went 2-10 last year. They jumped up 8 wins so far. They're 10-3 going up against the MAC champion in Western Michigan. So 2 conference champions battling it out in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. It's going to be a fun one for sure.
Indeed. It's going to be a good one for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Then next up in the Union Home Mortgage Gasparella Bowl, Memphis, who had a decent year, of course, got that win over Arkansas. That propelled them pretty far forward. Going up against Dave Doran's NC State in the Gasparella Bowl. And I'll tell you this much. Don't be a bet man on this one. That's all I could say. NC State went down against the G5 last year. This is just what Dave Doran does best, is lose to G5 teams that he's not supposed to. So do not make any bets.
Yeah. Although I do feel like Dave Doran might have a fun day with Memphis. They are, after all, losing their head coach, and I don't think they're going to be able to hang with NC State in this one, honestly.
Perchance. Then we got the playoff games. We've already touched on those. We'll get plenty of time to talk about those later down the line. Then following week, we got the famous Idaho Potato Bowl on the Boise Blue Field, taking place with Washington State, who thankfully made a bowl game after winning the Pac-12 championship, the second go-around against Oregon State. And then Utah State, who managed to sneak to bowl eligibility at 6-6. So, I mean, I expect Washington State as a supposed power team to run away with this one. But, I mean, both of these teams are in the same conference next year. So, I guess this is an early taste of it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a fun little preview of what could be in next season. But I mean, come on, we all know this. Boise State's going to run the fucking conference next year. That's without a doubt. Wazoo could be in trouble against the Aggies in this one. I'm not going to lie. Utah State, they gave the Broncos a hell of a run for their money in their final game of the season. They finished with a bang. I'm sure they are very eager to try to knock off some Cougar ass. So I think the Aggies have a really good shot here. Not to mention the Wazoo is just so fucking like thin. It's ridiculous. They lost to Oregon State. They about blew the Pac-12 championship completely. Like, God. Why was that even a threat?
Yeah, right. Dumb Gamers with a 5. Thank you, good sir. Says Microsoft putting money in everything, but improving the quality of their product. Don't worry, it'll be cheaper and better than their online service. Cheers to that.
Good Lord.
Kevin Von Magnum, appreciate the 20, says Vandy was desperate trying to get a 13th game in Hawaii. Don't know if it would have happened anyway. Calling Notre Dame to ensure a playoff spot. Had Notre Dame followed through, they could have got in. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's all there is to it. A lot of what ifery.
Honestly, why the fuck don't we expand the season by like 2 weeks and just eliminate one bye? Just put week 0 as week 1, add one more week at the end of the season, and eliminate a bye week, and you're probably looking pretty good. It like adds 2 more games, maybe eliminates some more uncertainty, helps with these mega conferences we got. Unrelated, but it was a thought I had the other day.
You'd have to start the season earlier, but then you say the season starts at week 0. So
yeah, like right now we got week 0 where only like 7 games are played. Like just make week 0 week 1 and then eliminate a bye week, or just add another week at the end of the season. Like I don't think it's that fucking hard, honestly.
Take that one to the office. Maybe they'll reject you in less than 5 minutes. We'll see.
Yeah, less than that. Less than that. I'm on some sort of like a hit list, I swear.
Oh God, no. Yeah, well,
Notre Dame is on their resources.
Yeah, right. Anyway, next up, Tuesday. This one, we're getting close to Christmas here. So Toledo and Louisville in the Boca Raton Bowl. I'm sure Louisville was shooting a little bit higher than where they are, but this will be a good send-off for Jason Candle and company. Jeff Brom's sticking around with the Cardinal, but that's with it. But no. This should be a pretty good game.
Yeah, agreed. I think Louisville should have a nice win here, honestly, because Toledo has been kind of at times, but it'll be a good way to send off Louisville for the season.
Mm-hmm. Next up, here's who's going to the New Orleans Bowl for a fun vacation: Western Kentucky and Southern Miss. Pretty good year overall for Southern Miss. Definitely well more improved. I knew that would be the case when they got Charles Huff, but yeah, no, they've improved pretty well. Western Kentucky, not the best year for them, fell short again of winning the Conference USA. Same team that beat them to get there, but still not a bad year for them. They have a shot of finishing out strong with a ninth win.
Yeah, I'm going to say like this: whoever passes out under a bar on Bourbon Street last is the winner.
Well, give me Western Kentucky. They're from Kentucky, so that's a dead giveaway right there.
Yeah, them hillbillies down south can really fucking drink. I'll tell you what.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're either heavy drinkers or coal miners, and these are the heavy drinkers. So yeah, give me Western Kentucky. Next up, here's the Frisco Bowl. This one taking place also in Frisco, Texas. Got me there. So in that case, Red wins. Yeah, right. But yeah, the Frisco Bowl, UNLV, the loser of the MAC championship, going up against Ohio. So we get some more Dan Development Mullen magic in this one. And yeah, it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, we kind of have to do this because Desert Rat Dan Mullen knows one thing and one thing very well, Squid. You know what that is?
Tell us.
Development.
Of course. Development. I'm usually the one to put it on the screen. I'm glad you took over in my place. Well, let's go.
Me making him, I'm surprised he wasn't able to weasel his way into somebody else's fucking team after this season, because he did really good work at UNLV this year. I'll give the Rat his due. He did really good with UNLV, and I think next year, who knows what the hell the Rambling Gamblers will do. But at the same time, like, I don't know. You know, it's still like besides Las Vegas, which is in steep decline for reasons I'm not going to get into because they're political. What else is there to do right now?
Right,
playing
exactly.
in a cavernous football stadium that nobody wants to go to because it's too damn expensive to go to a football game in Vegas. and you're probably going to be in the 7th best football conference next year. Maybe.
Potentially.
Just saying.
Somewhere around that range,
Bad news all around.
No doubt. Well, best of luck to him either way. Next up, this one on Christmas Eve. So for you Cal fans, I guess potentially this is not a good way to spend your Christmas Eve, but unfortunately it's the way you have to on your Christmas Eve night. The Hawaii Bowl. You're basically going to Hawaii's home turf, where the Hawaii Bowl is, and guess who you're playing? Hawaii. Big shocker. Yep, you get to face off in Honolulu against Hawaii. This is basically their home turf. It's like an away game.
Yeah, but at the same time, good for Hawaii. They finally made it back to a fucking bowl game. The Hawaii Bowl really exists just for them to have a bowl game when they have a winning season and they don't have to travel to the mainland. So, I mean, hey, it works out well for them, which is fine. And Cal's not that big of a flight from there to Hawaii. It's not like they're flying in the goddamn Chanticleers or some shit.
Yeah. Well, if nothing else, Cal, even if you lose this game Christmas Eve night, you still got rid of Justin Wilcox. So, yeah.
And that is the greatest Christmas gift of all.
Yep. The gift that keeps on giving, they say. We get a break, of course, on Christmas Day. And then the day following, we get some more bowls. Central Michigan and Northwestern in the Game Above Sports Bowl in Detroit. So
I was going to say, that's got to be the Detroit Bowl, right? Like there's only one other place I can think of where the MAC and the Big Ten meet besides now.
There, yeah. Oh, my goodness. That ignoring that diabolical statement. This is potentially a brawl here. Central Michigan they've had moments where they looked pretty good, and Northwestern has had moments where they just die on offense. So I don't know. We'll see. Next up in Phoenix, Arizona, we got the Rate Bowl, not the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, but the Rate Bowl. New Mexico, and guess who? The 7-5 Lord itself, Mr. PJ Fleck of Minnesota. The season went exactly as I expected it to. Minnesota got a few marquee wins, but even with that, it wasn't enough to save them. Almighty Lord of 7-5 prevails again, and going up against a pretty good Lobos team who's got some pretty good wins under their belt too. So it'll be a fun one, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be a good one for them. Obviously, it'll be interesting for sure. I mean, unique matchup, New Mexico and Minnesota. I mean, two good stories. I mean, Minnesota, another good season. New Mexico came back after being absolutely, garbage for a while there. I mean, two good stories. Can't hate either team, honestly, unless you're New Mexico State or Wisconsin.
That's true. That's true. Rode that dadgum boat all the way to 8-5. All right.
I mean, you got to row the boat there because you can't row the boat in Minnesota right now. Everything's fucking frozen.
That's true. Well, you still can. You just might be stuck in place for a while with a couple of polar bears.
Yeah. What's that polar bear doing in Minneapolis?
Yeah, that's what we all say. Next up, FIU and UTSA. Well, I'll tell you what, this is a good one at 8 o'clock, only because there's going to be a lot of offense. Both of these teams have pretty good offenses overall. Mm-hmm. So that'll make it pretty fun, I think.
Yeah, no, that'll be a fun one for sure. I don't really know who would be the better team in that matchup. Haven't really followed either one that much this year, so I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Potentially so. Next up, we got Pittsburgh and East Carolina in the Go Bowling.
Really? God damn. Pittsburgh got East Carolina.
Oh, boy. No. So East Carolina, they're on a streak as of recently. They got a couple of key wins under their belt. And last year, East Carolina beat an ACC team, and Pittsburgh lost to a Group of 5 team. This is a recipe for disaster for Pitt. They could do it again.
Yeah, I think that Heinz Schul and company will be just fine here. ECU's had a great run, but they're also I don't think that they have the strength and the manpower to go up against an unranked Pitt. That's the key phrase. If Pitt is unranked, they're near unstoppable. Just don't put a fucking number next to their name, and then because then they'll be an easy win. But any other time, they might be a little dangerous with Heinz Schul back in the backfield.
Right. We'll see. We'll find out in due time. Next up, the bad boy, or wait, shouldn't that say college football playoff game? What is that?
Yeah, no,
Must
if you
be a
went,
typo. Yeah, the
yeah,
college
no,
football playoff game. Yeah,
yeah,
this is a playoff game right here, right?
I'm pretty
Penn
sure. I
State,
mean, all the
Clemson.
experts back in August were swearing up and down this would have been a playoff game at some
No,
point.
they said this was going to be a national championship game. What's going on here?
For real. What the fuck?
What's going on here?
Now they're playing in bumming ass Yankee Stadium in the Bronx.
Huh,
Why are they doing a neutral site in the first round?
Yeah, hold on. Let me make a call.
Oh, wait a minute.
Can I make a call real quick? Hold on. Ring, ring, ring. Hello. Yes. Oh, you got a message for the people? All right, let's hear it. So this is going to be a fun one. only because both of these teams were national title projected, and here they are in the Bronx, trying to prevent themselves from a losing season. So have fun with that.
I did not think that there could be a Sickos Bowl in the bowl season. This is probably it.
Oh, absolutely.
Only a sick fucker would want to watch this game because it's in a baseball stadium. It's two teams that should not be anywhere near here. If the experts actually knew what the fuck they were talking about, good God. Oh, I can't wait for that one. That'll be fun.
Yeah, if Will Hell opts out, basically at that point, it's over. It's over. The Sicko Bowl is made. It's
the number 2 team. Abakella has it right. Number two versus number 4 in the preseason.
They have a combined 11 losses. Ouch. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's crazy. They got more losses than these two right here in the Fenway Bowl. UConn and Army. Again, this is UConn has found themselves in a painful position. They did have a pretty good year, finished out 9-3, a strong season overall, but in the process, they lost their head coach to a program that's probably below them, in all honesty. But they did manage to show up here. So and it's against a service academy, no less.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, good for Army. UConn had a great season. UConn's going to smoke Army. It's going to be literally like the Battle of Quebec in the Revolution. Just a bunch of Huskies come down and bite the ass out of Americans. Oh, God. Yeah, sorry, Army. Hey, but you know what? Yeah. If you beat Navy, you're not going to feel the pain as much.
Yep, that's true. All right, well, thankfully, in the place of Notre Dame, somebody arose to fill their void. And that was the Jackets of Georgia Tech with Brent Key at the helm. They showed up. The Piss Jackets. Yeah, this could be a really good one right here.
Yeah,
Pop-Tarts Bowl. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I hope both quarterbacks play in this one. I know the Bears going to play. I don't know if Haynes King will. I hope he does. I really do, because this could be a really fun one. Like, genuinely.
The current versus the future, like Bear Bachmeier versus Haynes King, like that will put some asses in seats. I tell you what, that'll be great.
Oh, for sure. This one's 100% always going to be a Sicko Bowl. It's on the CW, the Snoop Dogg Bowl. Oh yeah, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. Miami of Ohio and Fresno State. Fresno's had a pretty good year. Miami, not so much, but they at least made it back to bowl eligibility. So that has to count for something.
Well, I mean, Miami had made the MAC title game. So, I mean, give the Red Hawks a little bit of respect. They lost their quarterback 3 weeks ago and still managed to make it to the MAC championship. That takes guts. That takes perseverance. Fresno State, they got bounced 2 weeks ago from the Mountain West race. So they got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. We'll see what happens. But, hey, good season for both teams. I think Fresno State's got the number here.
Somebody just said the Barstool Arizona Bowl is better. Come on, man. No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
No. Keep David Portnoy's ass as far away.
I knew that's where that was going.
As fuck. Yeah, fuck that guy. He did come to Cincinnati and give Skyline Chili a 7.5, though. So, I mean, that's nice of him. But fuck him.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, not that I disagree or agree with that, what you just said. I'm just saying that so we can move on. Next up, the New Mexico Bowl. This one at 5:45, North Texas at 11-2. This is where they go. Again, this is a phenomenal year for the Mean Green, probably their best season of all time. And if they end out with 12 wins, that'll make it all the more better. So you best guarantee that they'll be ready to match up against a pretty good San Diego State team.
I'm honestly surprised that this is what they ended up getting. I mean, I thought they would have gotten something a little bit better than the New Mexico Bowl, but I mean, San Diego State also had a really good season. They crashed out last week against New Mexico in this stadium, so they got some bad memories here. They're going to want to try to rectify. It'll be a good one.
Next up, the Gator Bowl, Virginia and Missouri. Virginia, obviously a very good year for them. In the year of the 14 playoff, they're probably good enough to make a New Year's Six. Unfortunately, came short of that, especially now that they've lost the ACC championship. But they're going into a pretty good bowl against a Missouri team that could give them a fight. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what Eli Drinkwitz can bring to the table. But this is Virginia's chance to show that there is something worthy in the ACC of being called, dare I say, good.
I think they got a pretty good chance here against Mizzou. Mizzou's kind of been banged up and broken down the last half of the season. Bo Babula came back, sure, but he's not playing anywhere near the same level. So I think Chandler Morris and Virginia might have the number.
All right, next up, LSU and Houston in the Kinder's Texas Bowl. So in my eyes, this game matters a lot more for Houston than it does for LSU.
Oh yeah,
because the team fell apart. They lost their head coach. They're down. They're down Garrett Nussmeier. And Lane Kiffin ain't even coaching in this one, so no, you don't even get the different leagues effect in this. But Houston has had a great year. They're coming into this game ranked. Connor Walgreens has had a hell of a season, and this is a team that he's used to playing. So. To me, I think there's a great possibility for 10 wins.
I agree. They are the worst 9-3 team to ever play, or that I've ever heard of. But yeah. I have heard of them. If they go 10-3, I'll continue to say they are the worst 10-3 team I have ever heard of. But I have heard of them.
You did hear of them, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice thing I could say about Houston. Sorry.
Next up, the J-Lab Birmingham Bowl. And the story all about this one is the fact that Georgia Southern could not find an opponent to play them at all in any capacity. So being the legends that they are, one team rose up from the 5-7 ranks to jump in and play in their stead, and that was Appalachian State. So they're officially bowl eligible, Appalachian State, and they're going to be playing Georgia Southern in the Birmingham Bowl. So good for them for being here, but I don't think it'll matter much. I think they'll end out their season 5-8. Georgia Southern looks like a way better team overall.
I mean, you got to consider App State. They had the doors closed. They were in off-season mode. They were just starting to get on the trail to start scouting and recruiting and getting towards signing day. And then all of a sudden, ring, ring, hello. Yeah, everybody else fucking bailed. Do you want to try to beat up your rivals? Sure, let's go do it. That'll be fun to watch.
That's exactly right. Did not consider that narrative, but yeah, that is true. They wouldn't pass up a chance to beat up on these guys.
Oh fuck yeah! You kidding me? That was the easiest choice they could have possibly made. I think it was so easy for them to be like, "Hey, everybody, come back home." Oh, I don't want to come home. I'm comfy. I'm home with my family. You want to beat up Georgia Southern? Fuck yeah! I'm on the next flight out.
We're in. Yep, exactly. Next up, the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl between Coastal Carolina and Louisiana Tech. Both of these teams, kind of the same story. Two G5 teams wanting to get there to a better win, end out their season the strongest that they can. Coastal kind of lucky to be in this position, sitting there at 6-6, but they're here. And again, at the end of the day, that's all that counts.
Sonny Cumbie has done great things with Louisiana Tech. Everyone thought he was dead to rights at the start of the season. He was dead man walking, all this and that. He went from hot seat to leather seat real fucking quick. I mean, good for the Bulldogs. Don't know who's going to win here, but I'm going to side with the Bulldogs just because Coastal's a little bit of a upheaval after losing their head coach. That's best I could guess here.
Yep, that's true. Next up, we got and it's shit. It's shit.
Hang on. I'm gonna just. Y'all know what this means. Like it is. Oh yeah. We need. I don't know what it is. It is the Music Shitty Bowl. It is the Orange of Oranges Bowl. Tennessee, Illinois. God damn, Squid. It is the Two Shades of Orange Bowl, sponsored by Liberty Mutual. God bless.
I called it. You know, sometimes the reverse jinx works, Red, and sometimes it doesn't. And it's in the times that I don't want it to work to where it does. Said for like, 3-4 weeks in a row that we were not going back to this absolute pile of A's known as a bowl game. And guess what? We're back. And unfortunately, part of the sacrifice was I made a promise that I would protest in some capacity if we went back to this game. And I'm true to my word. I will. Now, I can't be, I got to be honest, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but it's going to happen. And one of two things is going to happen. One of two things. And I'll tell you guys this on the show, and I'll leave it at this. One, I show up somewhere around this campus to do my protest. And when that happens, I'll let you guys know, and you guys can come join me in the misery.
Fuck, I'd be there.
Or two, instead of taking me in my mustard costume with my billboard down in Knoxville, I take it directly to the source. I'll leave it at that for now. That's all I could say. But just know, I hate this. I hate that we're back here. It might be a little deserving, but the one good thing that came from it is that it got rid of the cancer. It got rid of the cancer known as a Tim Banks defense. So I can't be as mad as I am that we're back in this shithole. I at least have that. Know that now that we're coming for your ass, Bert Bielema.
Yeah,
that's all I could say.
Luke Altmaier's going to have a field day with the remnants of that Tim Banks defense, whatever's left over after it.
I know. Who knows? Maybe we'll find a defensive coordinator by that time, and he'll manifest his will on the Illinois offense from wherever he is, because he can't actually coach in the game. Yeah.
I look. I love the name, the Music Shitty Bowl and the Two Shades of Orange Bowl. Like that's great for this one. That'll be fun. That'll be real fucking fun.
Yeah, but this game's 100 shades of ass. I mean, if you go into this, literally the last time I was there, the end zones weren't even painted all the way. You could still see the Tennessee Titans logo. It was like they were trying to keep it obvious that the bowl game itself sucked.
Yeah, it's awful. I'm sure it'll get better when the new Titan Stadium is built. Right.
Yeah. We can remedy all this by actually going in there and beating the ever-loving piss out of Illinois. That way ref ball can't give us one of these.
Or even better, you could have remedied this by just beating Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah. Or anybody of quality for that matter. You know what I mean? Hey, but on the bright side, hey, if nothing else, guess what? Since we'll touch on it later, but since Mississippi State is going bowling, that does mean that we beat a bowl eligible team this year. Yeah! Yay! Okay. I've given myself enough pain. Let's go. All right. USC and TCU are facing off in the Alamo Bowl late at night on the same day. Yep, remember the Alamo. Unfortunately, we do not get Texas in this like we all thought we were going to get, but but cowabummer there. We still get to see TCU in it and to be up against USC. Two pretty good offenses. And I say pretty good offenses because if you know anything about Lincoln Riley, that's all he's got. So this is going to be a shootout either way, going to be a fun one to watch.
Yep, I agree completely with you there, Squid.
Best team in program history here in the Reliquest Bowl, the Vanderbilt Commodores. This is their best team in program history. And they get to the Reliquest Bowl up against Iowa. Oh, Vandy. Well, if you know anything about Tennessee sports, Vandy, it's that you know that we always find a way to go up against Iowa in the bowl game. Instead, you went to them in our stead. So You got to do like we've done, like always, and put the whooping on him, especially now that Diego Pavia is confirmed a Heisman finalist. You better go there and take care of business, even though it would be very, very funny to see you lose.
Honestly, I think Iowa would lose this game just simply because the only thing they have is a defense, and once Diego Pavia figures out how to crack through that defense, it's over.
Potentially so.
Big Ten does not play well against SEC on bowl games. They just never do.
Oh, that's been known. Yeah. Next up, everyone's favorite Tony the Tiger's Sun Bowl, featuring 8-4 and 8-5 ACC champion Duke Blue Devils.
What an honor for the Sun Bowl, their first conference champion to play in their bowl game in how long? God damn.
Yeah, right. Well, one thing I know for Duke is that it matters more for them to finish out the season right. Arizona State's already at a disadvantage now that Sam Levitt is already hit the transfer portal. Yes, Sam Levitt, he went I'm gonna go fly for you, and he's off into the sunset wherever he winds up going. So matters more for Duke, I'd say, but we'll see. Yeah. Next up, right. Next up, Cheez-It Citrus Bowl on ABC. This is the one that Texas gets featured in, and it gets none other than the Michigan Wolverines. So Texas and Michigan battling it out in a double red middle finger bowl game here.
Because fuck both of these teams. Dear God, they cannot make me not want to watch this any harder than they already have. Michigan and Texas, fuck both of them. Golly.
Michigan, if nothing else, they can try and run back another Citrus Bowl championship, but we'll see. It's going to be Arch Manning versus whatever quarterback Michigan trots out.
It is a rematch of the 2005 Rose Bowl, so I'll at least give it that. Nice thing to say. So that was a classic. Vince Young before they won the national title.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And we got the Las Vegas Bowl. This one, 3:30 also. Nebraska, well, whatever's left of them after all the injuries that they've got. And then Utah. I'm honestly surprised Nebraska didn't do like Notre Dame and opt out. Not because they're a bunch of crybabies who cry and complain about not being in the playoffs, but rather than I'm just surprised they have anything left of a team to play with. They have just been injured to all hell. But they're going to show up here against the Utes. So
I didn't even realize that, but the Sun Bowl will be Gary Danielson's last broadcast appearance in the booth.
Wow.
So end of an era for CBS Sports right there.
That is a big time end of an era.
Yeah. Thank you, Gary.
The Gary Danielson send off.
Yeah, absolutely. Great memories from him. Him and Vern were in my Saturday for quite a few years. Like that was,
and they weren't even covering your conference.
No, like that. It's not even because I was a fan of the SEC. I just loved listening to those two in the booth.
Everybody's a fan of the SEC. Trust me.
No,
different leagues.
Fuck you.
Different leagues. Come on now.
No, they're not.
Yeah, it's different in a lot of senses.
2 straight national champs for the Big Ten. Come on now. About to be 3 in a row. Let's go.
Okay. All right, then. But carrying along now, after, of course, the Las Vegas Bowl, we get 4 straight playoff games, which are the playoff quarterfinals. Then into more bowl games, we got the Armed Forces Bowl. And similar to Appalachian State, they needed a second team to come up against Texas State and fight their battle. And they got none other than Rice for this one. So it's going to be a 5-7 Rice trying to remedy of what's been their season against a 6-6 Texas State.
It is the food against the dick kickers. Who wins? Nobody. That's all.
That's all that can be said. You know, nobody wins here either. That gum Scooter. He's sitting here trying to attack my furniture, and he lost.
You can say we have a wild pussy in the camera.
Scooter, come on, Scooter. Look what it is. Look at that. Ooh. Okay, there you go. Play with that. Look, it's Notre Dame strength of schedule. There you go. Have fun. All right. Back to it, shall we?
Sure.
Next up, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. 9-2 Navy, also known as Notre Dame's most quality win against Cincinnati. And if this tells you anything, Navy's actually favored. So I don't know. Brendan Sorsby's going to be playing in this one. I certainly hope he is. it's going to be, I think he's got more years of eligibility, so I don't know why he wouldn't, but it should be a fun one.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'll be a close one since he might have the edge here. Source these plays. If he doesn't, well, bombs away.
Right. Rangab248, thank you, good sir, says more kitty. All right, hold on. Look at that. Ooh. Ooh. Such a little turd, I swear. Okay. There.
All right, that's too much pussy on camera. We need to get back to work.
He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know he's on camera. That's the only reason why he's sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Drunk Uncle 1917, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Looks like you became a member for both of us.
Well, maybe. I don't have membership set up.
Oh, then I don't know. It says it twice. But I thank you nonetheless for becoming a new member. Thank you. All right, next up, the Trust and Will Holiday Bowl. Well, I know the Holiday Bowl, but I didn't know they got a new sponsor. But yes, Arizona and SMU. This could be a pretty good one, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody's ready to go, this one's a very, very fun one in disguise. Especially after the season Arizona's had, to jump down from 4-8 and then go up back to 9-3. They have a chance for another 10-win season right here against SMU, which both offenses have looked pretty good. Noah Fafita, definitely a big upgrade over what I've seen from him going up against Kevin Jennings. This is going to be a fun one.
It's a coin flip on who's going to win this one. Honestly, it's going to be a coin flip. Best of luck to both teams. Going to be highly entertaining.
Oh, absolutely. Then we've got the Duke's Mayo Bowl to finish things out, I believe. Yes, before the final playoff games of the national championships. This is your final bowl game, 8:00 on ESPN. The Duke's Mayo Bowl, Wake Forest against 5-7 Mississippi State. So if nothing else, they get to finish out the season with at least one more game, thanks to bowl teams opting out. And we're going to get what I think should be a pretty good fight. Because if you know anything about Mississippi State, it's that most of their losses that they've had have come against teams better than them in pretty close battles. I mean, they took Tennessee to overtime. They've had several other close games. There have only been a handful of games that they've played that have been like definitive losses, one of them being against Georgia. But they put up a hell of a fight against some of these other teams. In fact, they're going into this game favored. So I like this one, unless if they can't shut down Claiborne. And then in other words, oh boy.
Yeah. Honestly, give me the Demon Deacons for this one. Mississippi State, they had to kind of pull everything back together, get their team back home in a hurry again. 5-7 teams rarely do well after they're all sent home packing and then have to suddenly reset the season. So give me the Deeks. They've been shockingly good this year. They've been competent at times, which is surprising in and of itself.
So yeah, everybody, there's all your bowl games for the season. Gonna be some fun ones. I absolutely know that. Yeah. And then we got one last thing to get through before we go ahead and close out the show. And that is because there are a lot of coaching hires that we have yet to cover that we got to go over real fast. And then we'll call it a show.
All right. I'm going to let you rapid fire it, Squid. So you go for it.
Oh boy. You boy. Yeah, no, so I guess we'll start out. It was Monday night. Of course, they finished things out. We've had a lot of hires since then. A lot of hires. So I guess we'll start out. UAB gets Alex Mortensen, and now he was already there, but he was promoted from being the interim coach to now their full-time head coach. So congratulations to Mortensen. Brian Hartline from Ohio State, yes, your home turf, has been taken from there to become the new head coach of South Florida.
Honestly deserved. Yeah.
Ohio State fans are very, very sad about it up until their offensive line got beat down by Indiana. But before that, they were upset about it. But yeah, no, great pickup for them. I was going to give you a chance for a retort, but yeah, no,
I don't have anything to say here. I mean, Hartline's been there long enough, and he's done great work for Ohio State. I'm happy for him. Good, best of wishes. Ohio State, great head coaches are growing at Ohio State. I don't know if you know this or not, but Bo Schembechler, an Ohio State product.
The Ryan Day. I guess you can call that the Ryan Day tree. Good job. All right, this is the one
The
everybody's
Ohio State tree, not Ryan Day.
Okay. All right. Wait. Yeah. This is the one everybody's been waiting on for me to say. James Madison's got their new man in the form of Billy Napier. He is now the new head coach of the Dukes. So congratulations to Billy Napier for becoming the new main man over with James Madison. Glad to see you got a new job. I'll be able to keep the running gag going a little bit longer. Then Cal Berkeley, they've got their new hire after firing Justin Wilcox. Tosh Lapoy, defensive coordinator from Oregon. He's also got ties with the Jags, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So if they start losing, you'll know who to blame that on. But he is the new main man for Cal. So good pickup for them. Penn State. Oh, Penn State, the Nittany Lions. Took a long time to do it, but they do have their new hire. Matt Campbell from Iowa State. Basically poached him right from their turf. And so tough luck there for Iowa State. We'll talk about their hire in a minute, but they did lose him to the Nittany Lions. Now, the damage has already been done. We could talk about the desert known as Penn State's recruiting class because there's nothing there. It's just empty. But they do have a new main man now. So congratulations to Penn State on getting that pickup. Memphis, they got their new hire in the form of Charles Huff. And this was to be expected. He already made the jump from one school to another. Does it again, this time over to from Marshall to Southern Miss. Now over to Memphis, where he's now the new head coach for at least this upcoming season. So shout out to Memphis for their new pickup. Jason Candle, he's the new man for UConn after Jim Mora went to Colorado State. So good job by the Huskies in making their new man in the form of Candle. And then finally, Will Hall. Will Hall who was already at Tulane. He is now been promoted to their assistant coach. I think he was their quarterback's coach, all the way up to their head coach now, and to replace John Sumrall. So shout out to Tulane on their new pickup. Hope things go well. Especially since you'll need it. You'll need all the experience you can get going into the playoffs. Then Iowa State, of course, they've got their new pickup in the form of good old Jimmy Rogers, right? Jimmy Rogers and Iowa State, right? Or did that fall through?
Meh.
Maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe. Potentially. Perchance. Yes. All the details about that aren't out yet, and that's why we're all like, wait a minute, is he there? Is he not there? What's Yes. Should be Jimmy Rogers, though. Right?
We think?
Right? Maybe? Potentially? Yes, of course.
Yes. Sure.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no doubt. And then we could talk about all the coordinator hires that happened too. Of course, Tennessee has yet to find their new defensive coordinator since the news about them firing their new man or firing Tim Banks, of course, dropped.
You just can't stop talking about Tim Banks getting the fucking axe, can't you?
Dude, this was 5 years in the freaking making. Of course, I'm going to talk about it, dude. What'd you think I was going to do? You knew better than that.
Weep tears of joy, have a milkshake bash. I don't know.
But what I will say, though, is that South Carolina just made their new hire for offensive coordinator. The news actually literally just broke. South Carolina makes their new hire in the form of TCU's Kendall Briles. So that is what I think is a pretty good pickup for the Gamecocks.
That'll work out well for them, I think.
South Carolina's offense is back, ladies and gentlemen. Potentially, maybe. Sure. I don't know. That's true. Anything's better than that. Come on.
Same paper underwear is better than that. God damn it.
Yeah. No kidding. Dude, I've got a good feeling from this show. We are going to see so many of the clips from this show get resurfaced. This is one of those episodes that we are going to see like a year from now still get resurfaced by people because of how many clippable things we said.
Honestly, yeah, but that's also kind of every week. Like, if we just say a bunch of useless nonsense every single week, like, it's all going to just kind of mix into one big giant pile of bullshit because it's all we ever talk about, Squid.
That's the
Fucking
show.
bullshit.
Exactly. That is the show. Yeah. And that's all we're ever going to talk about. There was a question somebody brought up earlier. I don't know. I forgot where this was brought. Hold on a second. Scooter, get off the TV. Why are you doing this? Little rat, I swear.
Sitting here
Why is
again
it now
talking about the same things.
Every time I actually want him to play with the chat, he'll just disappear under the bed. But whenever I'm in the middle of my live stream, now's the time to be socially active, dude. I swear. Okay. Anyway, there was this question that was raised up by a bunch of people during the show, and that was whether or not we were going to be continuing this show after the season's over.
Yeah, bad news, guys. Squid's going to fire me. He can't handle my bullshit no more.
Yeah, if I was going to fire you, that would have happened after the first loss. Yeah.
No, we're continuing the show, obviously.
Yes, that is very true. The show's not going away. We will be continuing it, although we'll be doing it probably in a little bit of a different style. We'll be bringing on guests for the show, potentially other big college football content creators. Wanted to give them a chance to say what they want to say. We've got some great stuff planned for you guys throughout this show. I'm looking forward to its future. Yeah, we'll see in due time.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. There are way better odds that we have a third co-host of this show than there are of me kicking him off. So,
neither one looks likely. So y'all are stuck with me.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, that'll be it for this show, guys. Thank you all again for tuning in. This was a really fun one. We all knew this was going to be a really fun one since it was playoff week. We're going to get a lot of time to talk about the upcoming games. And I guess real quick, because the bowl games start, December 13th, we got to give our thoughts just real quick on who's going to win. Because there's only two. One of them isn't even a bowl game. It's just the rivalry between Army and Navy. Who you got in that one, Army or Navy?
Give me Navy. Give me Navy. They just seem like a more all-around complete team. But, I mean, you never know, obviously. But give me Navy. Right. By the way, I saw rumors floating around the internet today that Army stole Navy's fucking goat again. Which is random as shit.
There's a video. Yeah, there's a video about it, too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The rivalry going strong as always.
Yeah, that's the only thing Army's going to win this week.
That's right. Give me Navy. And then we got the LA Bowl, Boise State and Washington. The Huskies are a 9.5-point favorite. I think they'll win. I think they'll win convincingly, too.
We'll
be a good game for Demond Williams.
I'm leaning Boise.
Ooh, okay.
It'll be interesting.
Think Maddox Madson's going to have a comeback, Art?
Maybe. We'll see.
Potentially. We'll see. Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out in due time. All right, guys, that's going to be it for the show. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this. Make sure you give a like to both of us. Sub up to him right there if you haven't already. Make sure you give him all the support in the world. We got plenty of great stuff coming for you guys. And, of course, we've got ourselves a guide to the college football playoff coming up. So stay tuned for it. That video will come out next week, sometime earlier throughout the week. We still got to cover the chaos of the championship games and all the furthermore. And all the stuff that he's doing as well. Red, tell him what you got to say.
So if you are on my Patreon, guess what? Conference title chaos just uploaded and it's out on my Patreon right now. For those of you that are not on my Patreon, if you have the ability to do so, please join today. If not, don't worry. It'll be on YouTube tomorrow afternoon. So at like 12 o'clock Eastern. So lunch break hour, it'll be out. I'm very looking forward to seeing what you guys think of that one. Outside of that, going to be chilling this weekend. I don't intend to be doing a lot of streaming, but I am very much intending to be roasting a coal over the fire, and that is Lane Kiffin.
Oh, Lane Kiffin.
He's getting the autopsy treatment. That's for goddamn sure.
Looking forward to it. Look, you are such a rat, dude. Come here, Scooter. Come here. Come on. Psst, psst. Come here. Ooh. He's been playing with the straw, and I just grabbed it from him, and he's mad, and he's trying to look at him. Look at it. You can see.
Oh, God.
You all right. All right. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Got plenty of videos planned for you guys this week. You guys are all wonderful people. We'll check with y'all next week here Monday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the FBS, or otherwise known as Fucking Bullshit Report. So as always, power to Tardaria and power to your team, and hopefully you do something.
So shit. Hats are really good at blocking the sunlight.
In the dadgum stream, dude. Just
See you next Monday.